Good afternoon. Today is December 12th, 2012, and this is your pod update. I'm here with Ralph and Marcia Ring out in the middle of somewhere, Arizona. And Ralph and Marcia are going to give you the update for this week.
Well, we just got back from the UK and the visit to Holland, the Amsterdam, to the Breakthrough Energy Conference. It went very well. We had a lot of good speakers there talking about alternatives, about things they're doing right now that are changing the system and that we live in, things that are on the drawing board now that are unbelievably going to be happening very, very soon. From there, we went on to London. We had some great hosts on the trip. Lorenzo Amador, one of our pod members, and Raj, I can't pronounce his last name, one of our pod members, and Charlie Fraser hosted us all the way through our excursion through England. We stopped at the Arundel Castle. That's where the Duke and Duchess of Norfolk live. And we were asked to give a talk. I didn't know the Bank of England was in the audience, and some of my language talking about the bottleneck of our journey seems to be focused back to the Bank of England, but they weren't too upset, but they looked at me kind of funny. They
didn't throw tomatoes.
They didn't throw tomatoes at us anyway. And what about the tour, Marcia? Do you want to tell them about the tour of the castle?
Well, we had a private tour. The Duke and Duchess were very, very hospitable to us. And after that, we did go on the tour of England, London first, but we went to...
You hugged the Duke and the Duchess, didn't you? And then they hugged you back, and they hugged me?
Yes, very warm, yeah.
Because they're third under the command of hierarchy or royalty. There's the Queen, there's the Prince Charles, and then there's the Duke and Duchess of Norfolk. They handle all the affairs of Parliament and so forth. So we were quite surprised they were in a hugging mood, but we did get hugged. Go ahead, tell them about the castle and the tour.
Well, the castle is very, very beautiful. It's closed right now for the winter months, but they did give us a private tour. We then went through the changing of the guards at Buckingham Palace. But the next we had a wonderful time in London and
saw the Parliament and Buckminster Abbey and the Big Ben and the Tower of London and some of the most important parts of London we got to visit. And then we went underground through the tube system. England has a very superior tube system. They go all over England underground. They go quite fast. They're quite unique. And then where did we go from there? Lorenzo.
Well, we actually did quite a bit of touring, but in Glastonbury, we were actually invited to see and visit John Cyril. You want to tell them about John?
Sure. Yeah, just before we saw John, we went to the tour. We went up on the Avalon where the King Arthur was first buried. He was moved after that, but he was first buried on Avalon.
On the tour.
On the tour, up by the tour. Then we went to the Chalice Well and saw where the Holy Grail was put down in the well. And then we had a nice, long visit with John Cyril, a very, very warm, personable fellow.
Very nice.
And we talked about spaceships and what he's doing, what his regime is doing, and what we're doing. And we got down to the nitty-gritty. The principle is exactly the same. And it deals with loving life enough to change it, to make it more easy for everyone. And that's where John's coming from. And he and I resonated on a very deep spiritual frequency. And then we did talk about the different ways that we were developing our different craft. He's got pods now in in England, in Australia, in California and San Diego. He's got a big laboratory in San Diego. And we have pods all over the world now, and they're stationed everywhere. We had a visit from Italy. They flew over to film us, and they want to start some pods over there now. So things are moving right along, expanding. Naturally, anything worthwhile takes time. Takes time to make good wine, as you know. And I think, who said that? Orson Welles or one of those guys in the past. Anyway, go ahead with tell them about the rest of the trip. We went to Stonehenge. We went to Atbury. We had some fun in the pubs with the good food, different kinds of food I'd never tried before, but it's pretty good. A little pricey though. And
our trip was wonderful, and we're very, very grateful to the people that made it possible for us to do that, to tour. And we just are very excited about what's happening within our own pods, and our people are very, they're working together.
They're not competing at all. They're realizing it's better to cooperate than compete. We had some spin-offs where they wanted to go corporate, and we don't want to go corporate. We're free all the way around, so we can call our own shots. We don't need anybody telling us what to do, and many of the pods are feeling the same way. But there are a couple that have gone into corporate. Cyril is in corporate right now, and they're developing fine on a different linear scale than we are, but everything's happening very nicely. And, Marcia?
Well, we just want to thank everybody that is following the pods and following what Walter does and the updates that he gives. We want to thank you for supporting us. And if any of you want to get in touch with us, please go to our website at www.bluestarenterprise.com or clandestinedisclosure.com.
Or search for...
They're watching this on Search for Truth.
Yeah, so they don't...
Oh, well, you're already watching us there. Okay. And if you notice, we got a few chemtrails out here. We're in the middle of nowhere, but there's still chemtrail.
So anyhow, without further ado, thank you, Ralph and Marcia, for all that you do. I want to put another shout out there. Thank you very much to Kara Fay for introducing us to John Cyril's organization.
Yes.
It's much appreciated. So
Thank you, Kara.
Thank you, Kara. Anyhow, signing off here in the middle of somewhere, Arizona. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye-bye.